بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته جميعا. Very good morning everybody here. Thank you for joining me in this workshop. The title of this workshop is Infusion of Skills in Academic Course or Courses. Before I start, I would like to introduce myself to you. My name is Rizqallah Hassan Malkawi. I am from Jordan. I am working at KFUPM in Dhahran. My background is civil engineering. I graduated from KFUPM in 1981 and continued my higher education in the same university and got my PhD in 1997. About 15 years back, I started working on the training, technical training, skills training, and educational training in general. In that context, I like this subject, I like this career, although my background is civil engineer, but still I am working in the civil engineering in the same university, and as well as I am also a skills trainer in the same university. I worked as a coordinator of the skills department in the university. I worked in many projects in the same area and still working since then. The topic today is not a lecture. It is a training workshop. And I think all of you here know what I mean by this. Before I start again, I want to put some assumptions. Number one, in front of me are experts. This is one assumption, that people in front of me are experts and they know a lot about the subject which I'm going to talk about. Actually, which we are going to share our knowledge, our experience, and our background on this topic. For some of you, I may be lower than in the experience and in the knowledge. But what I have here, I want to share with you so that by the end of this session today, we'll gain some of the things and some of the benefits. The second assumption, that the success of this workshop depends on both of you and me, and mostly on you, gentlemen and ladies. In that, I mean that the more we share, the more we contribute, the more we work together, the more we benefit from each other. And as we will see, we'll have some exercises. Please do share with me and with us whatever you have in your experience so that we can get the utmost benefits of this workshop. The third assumption, and based on the success of this workshop, there should be a continuation of this on your side and maybe in my side. So please don't make this workshop the end of the story. Rather, the beginning of a new story for the beginning of a new year, new academic year. Now, this workshop will answer these three questions. Why do we need the skills in academic courses? Do we need them? Do we really need them, the skills, to be infused in the academic courses? And we'll see what are the benefits that we will gain if we infuse the skills in the academic courses. Now, what are the skills we are talking about? Are we talking skills? Are we training on the skills themselves or on something else? And if we know what are the skills to be introduced and we talk together and work together, then how can we get them implemented in action, on action, at action? Therefore, we'll have to have the following things. We'll have some introduction, some definitions. Then we'll talk about the classroom problems, which I'm sure that you faced, and also the challenges that we are facing when we are in the school, in the classrooms, and how to overcome these challenges and problems using the skills, classroom skills. And for the implementation at the end, and some exercises. So based on this, these 4 hours we are going to be together, so we'll be covering these topics, and of course some including remarks in the beginning. Okay. Now what we are after by the end of today? The objectives are, as I just said, we want to share experience. I want to share my experience and take your experience. If it happened that I will talk about this later, or if it happened that you will talk about this later and you will implement whatever we are going to talk. So we have to share the experiences. So we'll start by an exercise just in a few minutes, sharing whatever you have and how you are doing it. Now we want to improve the course delivery. Of course, the course curriculum we are not going to touch because it is based on some strategy, based on some backgrounds, based on some concepts. So these are the things that we cannot change. So the course curriculum will be the same, but we are going to see how can we infuse the skills in the current curricula or in the current course curriculum. Now we want to prepare for a new academic year, you and me. So we are after Eid direction, inshallah, after Hajj, we are going to start a new year. So hoping that we'll get some benefits out of today's workshop so that we can use these things in the very near future, which is directly after Eid. So these are the objectives. Now let's talk about why do we need the skills. Now, if suppose you have a course, whatever that course is, in medicine, in literature, in math, science, engineering, and that course has a set curriculum, which is designed maybe years back, and you want to see how can we modify the process of delivering the course so that we can use some of the skills, some of the outputs of this workshop. Now, if this problem will continue, I have to stop this and use something else. Now, again, we have to answer this question. Do we need skills in the academic course? I think the answer is yes. Rather, big yes. We need to infuse skills in our course. When we talk about skills, the skills means doing. The skills means actions. The skills means interactions. The skills means how, rather than what. If we concentrate on what, then the knowledge part will be very high. But at the end, it will be, accumulated information, facts, theories, that maybe the benefits will be very small or very minimal when it comes to the real life. Therefore, to have the skills in our curriculum or in our academic course, to me is a must. And I am sure, 100%, that you are using some skills. We'll now know them from your individual or from groups, that you are using skills already. But we want to see how can we modify our delivery method so that we can get more. Now, using these skills, the outcomes is like this. Generally, when we set a curriculum or a course curriculum, we have learning outcomes. And we have 3 types of learning outcomes: cognitives, skills, and metacognitives. I think this which you know very well. When we talk about cognitives, skills, we talk about, we talk about generally about knowledge. And when we talk about skills, we have some measures, compilation measures and automatic measures. When we talk about metacognitive, which is the cognition of the cognition, the knowledge of the knowledge, knowing of the knowledge, or know of the cognitions, we are talking about some other measures which are the motivations and attitudinal measures. And just to refresh your minds, when we talk about knowledge, we talk about concepts, facts, information, theories, which all of us know about. Whatever the course is, generally we talk about these things, maybe some other, when we talk about knowledge or cognitives. When we talk about the skills and the measures for the skills, we talk about some procedures, abilities, compositions, doing, under how to implement, how to use the facts, how to use these to get the results, which are the learning outcomes, the general learning outcomes. When we talk about the metacognitive, we are talking about the attitudes and perceptions, and also values. So, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, looking to this chart, I want to ask you a question. Now, if I assume that we have this triangle, the learning outcomes are knowledge-based, skills-based, attitude-based. Now, what do you think X, Y, and Z in our current courses? Just assume that you are teaching a course. In your course, what is the percentage of X, Y, and Z in your course, approximately? Volunteer. Exactly. We cannot answer that. There is no, but in your course.
My course is practical course.
Yes.
So about
50% knowledge.
30% skills.
30% skills. About 20%. Is there anything else other than these 3? Almost these. So 50, 30, 20. Any other?
I think attitude is more important. I think attitude is important.
Attitude is important. How much percent you have in your course?
But based on the attitude, one can gain knowledge and one can gain skills.
Exactly. Now, in your curriculum, in your learning outcomes, when you put the learning outcomes and you design your course, how much percentage you put to this one, if it is the maximum, compared to the others, so that the total is 100?
I'm thinking in a different way. I think attitude is not part of learning outcomes.
How come?
Because I think attitude is something different, and it's not a course outcome is not that what attitude you have. If you have an attitude, you can achieve certain course outcomes. If you don't have an attitude, you won't.
Thank you. So this is another perception, another view of what you're saying. Meaning that if you have attitude, if I set my attitudes and goals and perceptions, whatever, so based on that I design my course. This is what you want to say. Okay, I agree with you. Now, do you have any other idea? Any other suggestions, percentage-wise? Tfaddal.
I think all of them equal.
Equal. So you put 30% to skills?
The most important skills, but all of them is
Equal. Now let's talk about math. Who has a math course here? Math course. What is the percentage of math? Okay, statistics. Do we have the knowledge is the maximum or the skills? No, I mean actually, when we talk about the skills, means it how?
At the first, pure knowledge.
Knowledge is the highest.
Then when we go over the course, the skills will be important.
Skills are important, of course, I say one, but the percentage of knowledge, you said that is the highest, isn't it?
At the beginning.
At the beginning. Okay, so with the course, the course of the course, now the skills becomes higher, right? And as this gentleman said that the attitude are the outcome of the other two. This is what I understood. Thank you. Yes, madam. No, madam, when we talk about the outcomes, I mean by the end of the course, the student should be able to do this, and this. And knowledge means to know, right? Yes. Skills to do. Now, for example, to do manipulation of math, to do the calculation, okay, to prepare for the exam, these are skills. But when we talk about attitude, how they look to the course. What is their motivation out of the course? I mean, by the end of the course, now he becomes, for example, more disciplined. For some courses, this outcome, this attitude, we start from the very beginning, the first class, talking about discipline and control and, these things. So this is what I mean that when we talk about attitudes, that the learning outcomes, by the end of the course, the student will be able to do this, this, and this. So when we talk about this one, they will have different perception, they will have different understanding, they can do better in his life. And I could say that this is the impact of this and this on the student. So I think I answered your question. Okay, do you have any other idea, gentlemen? The skills will be more in math, right? Thank you. Appreciate that answer. So, do you have any other idea? Yes, brother.
Learning outcomes also has higher elements like maybe submission in this triangle, like to have the students at the end of the course to be able to start from the knowledge, then the understanding, then the analysis, and the critical thinking, then the creativity.
Yes.
There are more high-rank elements. I don't see them in this triangle.
Yeah, I appreciate again your input to this thing. Yeah, when we talk about the previous slide, if you have, we have some cognitive and metacognitive, and we have the skills. When we design the course, this is, gentlemen, what we do. We have these three things. Now, when we talk about the Maslow, for example, triangle, of course, at the end we have the creativity. But it starts from memorization and so on, right? So now I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about the levels, okay? I'm talking about the percentage of how, when we design the course, what is the percentage? Yes, gentlemen.
Yeah, I think whatever you are mentioning is basically skills. Okay, they all are same. It may have analytical skills, you may have like sometimes numerical skills, other cognitive skills, whatever. So they are all included in skills. So that's what he's not putting it one by one.
Yes.
We can say that they are all included in skills. And knowledge is also one of the basis here.
Yeah.
And outcome. Attitude, but I think in attitude, some of the words should be there. That's what I understand.
Okay. Yeah, maybe when we go further, I mean, things will be clearer. Do you have any other comments? Yes, brother, the end. Yes, we said that. Yeah.
For experimental courses, I need high skills to know to do the work. For theoretical, for example, for history or other language or English language, I need high percentage for the knowledge, except that skills and
Yes. Yes, thank you for your comments. Yes, brother.
I would say 40% for knowledge, 40 for skills, and 20 for attitude. Because if we have knowledge and skills, attitude is or get churned, it gets churned. So I would say 40 would be important.
Thank you, thank you. Any other comment on this? Okay, gentlemen. So, as we said that the percentage, these percentages are dependent to the course type and also the course nature, the nature of the course. Is not, for example, history. When we talk about history, general history, of course we have to get more knowledge. But at the end of the course, there should be some attitudes. I mean, what are the impact of this learning, giving this knowledge? Maybe the skills are the minimum in the history course, but there are some attitudes given to the students and, I mean, being perceived and acknowledged and acquired by the students. Okay, so we are talking here, gentlemen, not about the knowledge, not about the skills, because there are other courses, inshallah, during this program, you will be talking. Now we are talking about this one. We want to put, whatever the course is, we want to increase the skills. We want to increase the percentage of skills, whatever the course is. Of course, when we talk about medicine, students, they have to practice maybe 3 years, right? 4, 5, and 6 years they have to practice. Therefore, more skills, more doing than the knowledge which they gain in the first year and second year and maybe the third year. When we talk about, I mean, science or engineering courses, it depends to the course. So the subject itself and the major and the courses under that subject actually specify the percentages. So we want to infuse the skills in this percentage. So our workshop is about this part. Now, what are the benefits of the skills? I think we said that in the very beginning. We have the better performance. Because the more you ask the student to practice, the more you let the students do things, is the more they have the performance in terms of grades, in terms of understanding, in terms of getting the outcomes. If we use the skills, we have higher motivation for the instructor and the students as well. You know, you have 50 minutes class, and for the labs maybe 2 to 3 hours, maybe 4. Now, if it is lecturing only, sitting on a chair, or on a table, or behind the podium, and we are talking, after the 30 minutes, or maybe less than that, I mean, the concentration will be low, getting lower and lower, and maybe by the end of the class, I mean, students will be disconnected. Therefore, our outcome or targeted outcome will not be reached. But if we have sharing, if we have doing, if we have communication, if we have some practical like where we have in the lab, sometimes the labs goes for 3 hours, but the time goes just like that, because people, you know, while you are busy doing things, the time, I mean, is very fast. Therefore, higher performance, higher motivation for the student, because they are sharing, because they are doing, because they are interacting, because they are giving their feedback, because they are giving their opinions as well. And also for the instructor, as I said, the time, and he feels that when the students gets understood everything, then he is getting happy and motivated. We as instructors, sometimes motivated by a question. And we'll talk, I mean, later in this program, about the questioning skills. It's very important from the student and from the instructor. So if a student asks one question, we sometimes get very motivated and feel happy and get, inspired. Do you agree with this? I mean, have you come across these situations where a single question from a student means that he wants to understand or he gets understand better than the others? Then we are getting motivated. Unlike when a student, you see him either using his mobile or sleeping. We are dismotivated, unmotivated. So this is our nature. We are human beings. So using the skills, I think that we have a higher motivation. Also, we have effort minimization. When you ask students to do things together, or doing things together, or do some exercise, your effort of just talking and talking and talking will be saved. And you will get more time for something else, concentrating on something else, focusing on, for example, some type of students who needs more help than others. Therefore, we can minimize the effort that we'll give and just talk and just Now, more than that, we have the higher productivity. If we have a certain syllabus and we have to finish it in 15 weeks, and if you take the whole time, 50 minutes each, class, just talking about whatever material is there, without asking the student to share, without getting the student getting involved, then I think our productivity will be low. So we have higher productivity if you use the skills. And also sustainable impact. This is the outcome. It will stick in the mind. It will be there. It will sustain more if they do things together, if they do things by their hands, if they get their hands working, and of course, so their minds. If you just ask them to, some questioning, as we'll say in the questioning skills, some question that is open question or sometimes leading questions and so on, this will also have more impact. And we have some fun and enjoyment in the course if you use some skills compared to teaching without infusing any skills. So I think that these are the benefits that we can gain, we can have if we use the skills infusion in the academic courses, and they deserve having another look or try of using the strategies that I'm going to share with you this morning and later in the afternoon. Do you have any questions till now? Yes.
I have a question about the number of students in class.
Yes.
Because I think it will be difficult when you have a huge number. We can use these skills when we have small classes, but when we have larger classes, it is difficult to use it.
Thank you. The gentleman here said that if we have, it depends to the number of students in the class. If we have 30 students compared to 100 students, of course we cannot infuse, we cannot use as many skills as possible. Yes, you are right. But we have a subject, I think you will have a lecture on it or a workshop, called classroom management. When we talk about classroom management, we talk about three things. The environment, which includes the space, the student, and the general environment. And the classroom management, we talk about the subject itself, which is the material. And the third one is very important, is the time. So when we talk about classroom management, it is one of the skills, by the way. But it is actually a detailed one. It needs a short workshop by itself. Environment management, course management or material management, and time management. So when we have, for example, 100 students, I'll select the skills that are suitable for 100 students. If we have 30 students or 25 students, I select the skills that is based. Now, I assumed when I was asked to share with, contribute to this program, I assume that we have round tables with 4 or 5 to each table, with names on the table, okay, so that I can communicate more. And by that time, I mean, if that happened, we have more, of course, benefit than if we have a classroom like this. Sorry for that. And gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, in front of me, I mean, they are, of course, it's different. So thank you for your question. Yes, it is different, but we have to select the skills that are suitable for each environment. Any other? Yes.
Generally, when we design a course,
Yes.
we know that what are the skills this course should achieve.
Sure.
So how it comes then that we try to infuse something new in the class?
Yeah. Just 1 minute, I'll answer to that question. And I always say like this, there is always a margin for improvement. So I'm not looking for from A to Z directly. I'm not looking for 100%. I'm looking for the change. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, here in the education, it's a process of changing, not a process of gaining. You know this. The education, the learning is a process, not gaining. It is changing. Changing the knowledge, changing the skills, changing the attitude. We are changing the student minds. We are changing the student life. We are changing the students' everything, right? So there is always a room, a margin for improvement. So this is what's called change. I'm not saying that I will get a person from nothing to 100%. Because at the end of the day, we are limited with time, we are limiting with resources, we are limiting with everything. So these are the limitations and constraints we have to live with. Yes, when we design the course, it is designed like that. And we put something here, and there. But during the course, I find that this type of these skills is important, so I infuse it. Fusing means just, use it at that time, at that particular time. Of course, it depends from course to course, as we said in the very beginning. So let's see about what do I mean by these things. Skills, as you know, it is the ability to do something well. Comes from training and practice. This is doing, practicing, and there is a process of gaining the skills. It starts from we don't know, we cannot. Then we know, but we cannot. At the end, we do it without any unconsciously, right? We do the skills at the end, after you get trained, if you've practiced it, you do it without unconsciously. As you can see, I'm shaking my hands unconsciously because I was trained to do this in training, and you too. I'm not saying that, okay, I'll raise my hand and do it this way, then put it back, because this was, when I was trained, I have to do like this. I was trained that I have to stand this way in the center of gravity here. I was trained that when I kneel like this, it means something. I was trained that, the body language, when I say like this, it means something. This means something. This means something, right? So I was trained. But at the end, I do it unconsciously. So the skills comes after training and practice. Now, is it a student skills or the instructor skills? What we are talking about? It's instructor skills we want to infuse with the students so that they get the utmost benefit. They get the utmost learning outcomes. If suppose I have a course and by the end of the semester, the student, get nothing or get less than optimal. I should not say maximum. I did not do my job. I did not do my job efficiently. So this is the skills. Now what do you mean by infusing? The introduction of a new elements other than the set one, or equality, or procedure, or strategy into something. Is this clear, gentlemen? Ladies and gentlemen. So this is what I want. Now, in this case, we are not introducing skills as academic course. Now we are not training the students how to present and presentation skills. We are not teaching or training the students to do, for example, the presentation, or do, for example, the note-taking skills. No, I'm infusing these, but to deliver the academic courses in a skillful, efficient way. So it's my responsibility so that I train the students, I teach the students in an efficient way using some skills. If they are from the very beginning set and known, that's okay. If otherwise, during the course of the course, I can see some of the things that are important, I infuse them. Because if you remember, we have some challenges, we have some problems. We are going to state them in a minute. So these challenges, these problems, okay, I have to isolate and know how to tackle each and every one of them.